how do you already fail with your goals third of the way into the year? Well, apparently if you set the goals that I did. So let's talk about what happened and what I'm going to do about it. Hey, what's up? My name is Daniela and welcome to a new video in which I will be doing a goal check-in after the first third of the year. Before we start, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel, but without further ado, let's get into it. So originally I thought I was going to do quarterly updates with the goals, but then I didn't do one at the end of March, and then I realized that if I split the year into thirds, it actually splits the year in a way that feels more natural to me. So today we will be recapping the first 4 months of the year, so January to the end of April. So I will go through each of my reading goals and I will see how I'm doing, and I will also evaluate if I still like that goal, because guess what, it is not illegal to change your goals in case you find out that they just don't feel right in the middle of the year. It's totally fine. If you've been here for a while, you might know that I was in a bit of a reading slump in this first part of the year, so you might ask if that's the main reason why I'm failing my goals. And the real irony is that no, it's not that case, because I didn't set goals that revolve heavily around the number of books I read, but I still managed to fail. So this year I was setting some goals that were totally brand new to me, and I realized that I didn't fully think through all of the little nuances, so we will also be refining the goals. So goal number 1 was to keep my physical TBR at 10 or under, and this was a fail. Not a huge fail, but still a fail. And the first dilemma I encountered here was to how to count currently reading pile, because I think originally I kind of counted it as a separate category, but now I'm thinking until I finish it or DNF it, it's still on the physical TBR. So that is a little change that I'm implementing. I ended January with 9 books in my physical TBR, so we were still good there. Then February at 10, which is the limit, and then it went downhill because at the end of March and April I had 12 books on my physical TBR. So the main issue with this one was that I already got 7 books for Christmas, and then in combination with the reading slump and attending some book swap events, it was just super easy to go over. But I am not sad or complaining that I got books for Christmas. It was very generous of my family and friends to gift me books, so you know, no complaints there. But yeah, it is kind of how it happened, but it's fine. We are now moving through the year and we can fix that. And I'm happy to report that my reading slump seems to be improving, so we might be on the right track here. And my thoughts on this goal are that it was very ambitious to aim for 10 or less books on my TBR, and obviously I also failed, but at the same time I don't really like my physical TBR around 10 as of now, so I'm actually going to be aiming to decrease it to around 3 to 5. The official goal will stay the same, but those are my feelings. With 10-12 books in my TBR, I feel a little bit overwhelmed. So I will try to read my TBR down even a bit more than the goal dictates. And overall, I still really like this goal. I think it managed to rein me in, and I didn't go that much over, so yeah, still liking it, and we're continuing. Goal number 2 was to read all my books within 3 months of getting them. So originally I thought that I would calculate this in a very straightforward manner. So let's say I get a book on the 15th of January, so then I would have until 15th of April, just 3 months straight. The first exception was that I counted all of my Christmas books, so technically I got them like a little bit before Christmas, maybe if it was from friends, or then on the 24th if it was from family, and I just counted all of my Christmas books as if I got them on January the 1st. And I'm changing the rules slightly, so that now I need to read the books that I get until the next 3 months are over. So if I get a book on June the 1st, I still have July, August and September to read it. In this way, obviously, if I get the book in the first half of the month, I have more time to read it, but I just want to simplify it a little bit. I just can't deal with the rolling months, so this is the change. And I failed this goal the first month that it was possible to lose this goal, and that was April, obviously. So at the end of April, I still had 2 books on my TBR that I technically acquired in January. One of them was a Christmas book and one of them was a book that I acquired at the end of January at a book swap. And I seem to be struggling with this goal even a little bit more than the 10 books on the TBR goal. I kind of know the reason. So if I go to a book swap and I grab a book there, chances are it's not like on the top of my TBR and it's just a book that I'm vaguely interested in, so then I didn't pick it up at the next possible opportunity. And also one of the books that I still have to read is a book that I want to read for a specific project that just hasn't happened, but I think it will happen very soon. I do still like this goal. I don't want the books on my TBR to rot on my TBR for too long, because then I'm less and less excited to pick them up. So we will keep trying and we will see if giving myself a little bit more time will help me with this goal. Goal number 3 was to read a book I'm super excited about each month. This goal is the hardest to evaluate because it is not a clearly defined goal. I'm kind of going off of vibes here. And the concept is that if I imagine a list of top 10 books that I really want to read as of this moment, I need to read a book from that imaginary list each month. With the size of my physical TBR, it is highly likely that the book that I'm super excited about right now will not be on my physical TBR, because, you know, the books will be like a couple of months older, and yeah, maybe they are not the most exciting books. I just grabbed them because I am interested in them, but they are not in that top 10. And the main goal is kind of to be spontaneous and follow my passion in the moment. So in January I actually did a lot of rereads. So I reread 3 of my 5-star books, which was amazing, but that wasn't quite what I had in mind. So I'm not counting anything for January. However, in February I did do it because I read The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane, and this was a book that I have been excited about for a long time, and then I got it for Christmas. So yeah, we're counting it. In February I did it. And for March I'm counting another book I've been really hyped about for a really long time, and then I also got it for Christmas, and that is Her Majesty Royal Coven by Juno Dawson. However, for April I really can't count anything. It doesn't mean I wasn't enjoying the books that I was reading, but there definitely weren't books that I was super excited about at that time. So I succeeded for 2 months and then I failed for 2 months, and since this is a monthly goal, it means an overall fail. I still like this goal, but I find it a little bit hard, especially with combination with my other goals and also with the book accessibility in this country, which is not an English-speaking country. Sometimes it might mean that I have to pay full price for the book that I want to read at the moment. So it's also really about allowing myself to spend the money, which I want to do. So going forward, I want to be more spontaneous with this one. Come on, let's do it. Goal number 4 was to read a book in Spanish. What a great goal, right? And this is a yearly goal. I just have to finish it by the end of the year. So the fact that I didn't start at the end of April doesn't mean I failed. Yay! And also, spoiler, I have started the book. So I'm currently reading El Principito, which is The Little Prince in Spanish. I'm reading it very slowly, writing down a lot of words, and I still have, you know, till the end of the year to do it and finish it, so I think we can do it. And the last goal I had on my list was to continue to support indie bookstores. And to be honest, I completely forgot that I wrote this down, even though the sentiment obviously still stands. So I am using this one secondhand bookstore in Prague a lot, even though it's not exactly the type of store that I had in mind. Let's actually go through some stats around my buying. So I hold 18 physical books in total. 7 of them were gifts, 5 of them I got at book swaps, so these were obviously for free by design, and then 6 I bought at the secondhand bookstore, but most of them I got for store credit. So I actually only spent 7 euros on books this year so far, which is great for my savings. Obviously not that great for the book industry, but I think there will be plenty of opportunities to spend money on books throughout the year, and hopefully a good portion of that will go towards indie bookstores. And this one I'm not even going to like clearly evaluate as success or fail, because it is more of an intention. As you could see, I wasn't really spending money on books that much, and I didn't even buy any books brand new. So it's an intention. I'm just not going to ascribe like success or fail to it. Okay, so those are the results. Let's touch on why I think I failed. So I basically dropped the ball right at the beginning of the year, and I didn't even start properly tracking these goals until April. So that was just a surefire way to fail. Also, I just didn't fully realize that some of these goals are very different than the ones I had in the past, and I need to, you know, be on them every month. And these are not the types of goals that you can just kind of forget about and then a couple of months in evaluate how you're doing. No, you need to be aware of them each month, and that wasn't what I was doing really. They were in the back of my mind, but yeah, I need to be more on them. And also, even though I failed most of my goals, I am still feeling quite encouraged by this check-in. I'm happy for these goals to be more of goalposts or guidelines, and I will just try to stay close to them, and I pretty much did. I didn't stray like that far, and I still think that this year's goals are some of the most fun I've ever set for myself, so I am happy to keep striving for them. But that is basically all for the update. Let me know all of your thoughts and comments down below, and let me know what is one goal that you are smashing and one goal that you need to focus on more. If you watched this far, I really appreciate you. Don't forget to click the notification bell so that you get notified about my next videos, and I hope to see you next time. Bye!